guys. 2022 CrossFit Open done and dusted. And as usual, we're going to do a wrap-up. And same as last time, we have Brad Domick with us.
Thanks for having me.
Sean Cousins.
Thank you.
And Chris Midlam.
Hello.
Okay, kick everything off. Without looking at your cheat sheet, who, male and female, is the most improved from previous years? I know previous years is a bit general, but who has done a lot better this year than what they have done previously? So obviously no rookies that we'll discuss first, but yeah, who's most improved? Let's start with the most clueless person,
yes.
Brad. Who do you think improved the most, male and female?
Well, I've got no reference point, but I'm going to...
I know, because you're never at the gym or at the open when people do it.
Maybe was Darius at the end of like a life-threatening injury?
That's a really good one, actually.
So I'll go Darius. He was almost a quadriplegic, basically. Was that a year ago?
You get a pass for that answer?
Yeah.
Yes, well done.
He did the Open last year. He did incredibly well last year as well. So,
but
overall,
significantly better this year.
But that's a great one.
previous
That's a
years,
great
so
one.
He's
yeah.
really improved from before he started doing CrossFit. He's improved.
So with Darius, his goal last year was to do the Open.
Yes.
So was just to be able to do all the movements and complete it, Whereas this one, he wanted to compete in it. So that's a great one. You've nailed that.
Thank you.
I don't know if you know a female member that did the Open, do you?
This year, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Last year, no idea. So
That's all right, Brad. We'll give you a pass on that one if
Thank
you
you.
want. Yeah, we'll move on to Sean.
I'm going to say the two for me were Johnny Carpenter. There's the male one. He just, I don't know, executed the Open a lot better than he did last year. And then the female, I'm going to say Amy Polnow. She, last year, she got her first bar muscle up, which was like a big deal. And then this year, it was just like we, of course, knew she was going to get him, and then she did really well. And you'll see when we go through it how well her results did as well. They're my two.
Yeah, I would pick Amy overall as well. I think because this year she beat both Nina and Tash.
Yeah.
I don't think she did that last year.
No, she didn't. I reckon Amy was most improved overall for the girls.
Yeah. Now, okay. Chris, I'll let you criticize
I was going to say,
the
at the risk of copying both of them, I was going to say Darius and Amy.
Yeah.
Of course
he was.
Mr. Vanilla.
I didn't get to see Amy do as many workouts but I did see Darius do his. And I think even without his injury, it's probably the best year he's had. And it looked like just the fittest he's been by a country mile.
Yeah.
And he was right there, right at the top with all the workouts pretty much. And yeah, he'd probably be my and it's especially more incredible because he had that crazy injury and it's just bounced back. Plus as well, I know he's just been crushing it in just general training as well. So yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, great answers, Chris.
Yeah.
Come to me first next time.
Now, next question. Who get the award for executing most redos?
Nick? No, Buster.
No, not Buster.
Buster didn't redo the last
Well,
year.
Michael White did the first workout 3 times.
Yes.
So I think I'll just give it to him. Maybe not over the 3 weeks he did it the most, but when you do one workout 3 times, that sort of counts.
I think Julie was getting cross at him. She don't redo it.
Now,
Darius did the deadlift workout 3 times too.
Darius did the... Oh, yeah, he did too, actually. You're
I don't think
right.
the third one wasn't necessarily wanted to, but...
Yeah, you're right.
But kind of had to.
He kind of had to.
But in Michael's defense, though, I would say he had to redo it because he also had to do it at a different weight to try and qualify the Torian. But did he really have to do that?
Bit of a story there. So Torian takes masters anywhere from 50 to 59 is the age bracket. But in the Open, they use the Open as the qualification to Torian pairs masters comp. But what happened was the Open workouts were 50 to 54 was one weight, and then 55 to 59 was another weight. And Michael's in the younger of the two, so he's in the 50 to 54. So he did that workout. But then if he was to submit that score, it wasn't fair because the guys at 55 to 59 got to do it at a 15-kilo dumbbell and got to do box step overs. So he would do that RX'd version on Friday night, and then I was making him redo the workouts on the Sunday. And he was just like, I'll just post my other score. And I'm like, we need the best chance possible for you to qualify. You have to do it again at a lighter weight. Got to week 3. We went on the leaderboard. They take the top 20 teams. They take the top 20 teams. There was only 12 teams entered.
You did it! Congratulations!
So they were going to qualify no matter what, whether he did 1 rep. And I was making him redo the workout.
Who was his pair?
Buster.
But you don't do a pairs.
No, you do the 2 scores combined. And that gives you your overall score. And that's what with Buster, he was obviously doing the 50 to 59 weight. So he didn't have to do it, but Mike did. It's a bit of it's not the most ideal way to qualify for a comp. But when I realized, I felt so bad because he's like, oh, my back's a bit sore.
We're doing so many deadlifts.
And I'm thinking of Mike, I'm thinking like, after this, you got an online comp, which, it hasn't quite got the same feel as it does when you get to go to Torian. So I was like, I really want you to qualify so you can go to Torian and give it a... And then when he's like, hey, mate, just want to run this by. He's like, do you still want me to redo? I was like, no, I have today off. So, yeah, that's on me. Sorry, Mike. That was very funny, though. That was very funny.
It's bloody confusing for anyone, even people that have done CrossFit for long.
Oh, there's so many.
For years to understand how the qualifying.
And then people are like, so how are they going to qualify from Torian to the games? It's like, oh, Torian's got nothing to do with the games for the Masters. It's just a additional add-on, but we won't get into that. To go back to the original question, I think Nick Bedouin takes the most consistent redoer because he did every workout twice.
And he did better
the last
workout too, I think.
No, not on the last one. He didn't do better on the last one. And then I think Mike and Darius did the most. They both did 1 workout 3 times each.
It was funny with the last one because when I saw the announcement and the workout, and I was like, not that I was planning to redo, but I was like, well, that's probably quite a good one to redo for a lot of people because it's fairly short time frame, not a lot of reps, not a lot of volume.
Yeah.
A couple of days after I did my attempt, I was like, that's the worst workout to redo.
Sore legs?
Sore.
Yeah.
Like my quads were on for days. And a lot of people, maybe 50-50, not everyone, but a lot of people that did redo realized it was a bad idea in that second set of thrusters because their legs had nothing left. They were still so sore.
Did anybody expect your legs to be cooked in that?
Not at all.
It read upper body.
Yeah,
it read all upper body.
I didn't expect to feel my legs
Pull-ups,
like that.
chest to bars, bar muscle ups.
Double unders.
Honestly, I've not been that sore through my quads for years.
That's weird.
I was struggling walking downstairs for a couple of days. And it's been a long time since I've had that,
Yeah, that was a crazy workout. That was, I would say, the best open workout they've ever programmed.
It was a really good one.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah,
I
really liked it too.
Yeah. I watched Noah Olsen do it, one of the best athletes in the world, and they were filming him when they did the live announcement, and they announced the whole workout, and he goes, oh, that's probably 5-minute workout. And I was like, and he did it in 4:27.
Did he really?
Finished the whole thing in 4:27.
Was that the fastest?
No,
it wasn't.
Another guy that was fast.
But just the fact that he read that and was like, that's about 5 minutes. That's just ridiculous. That's so fast.
I mean, I said this last year
ridiculous.
through the quarterfinals too, when they did the heavy chest to bar Fran. And because the original Fran was such a good workout because it surprised everyone. It gave you a stimulus you never really experienced before.
Yeah.
But now a normal Fran, it's not really hard enough for a lot of athletes.
Yes, yeah.
But I think last year's heavy chest to bar Fran and this year's 22.3, that's the closest you get all these top guys to experience the Fran feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's
What
so
we
short.
feel like for Fran.
Yeah, yeah.
Awful.
It's true, yeah.
And it hits you straight after it's done, and then you feel it for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. Yeah, I really liked it. And I actually thought it was good for a lot of levels because I judged a few people up in Brisbane, and they one guy wasn't very good at double unders. One guy wasn't very good at the chest to bar. So it was a very different workout, but they all kind of still enjoyed it.
Yep.
So, yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah,
I watched someone do it before I did on Friday, and his first comment was like, "Yeah, it's definitely Fran Long. I haven't felt that in a while." And I was like, I wish I didn't watch this.
Yeah.
This is the worst. So they're going, idiot, why are you doing this to yourself? Going through the pain before it even started.
Oh, God.
So I missed the Friday Night Lights here. How did you go, Chris, with that workout?
I got 10 thrusters.
And how did it feel? How was your game plan?
You know what?
And stuff
Actually, really good. It actually felt fine. My legs weren't look, my gymnastics is not the best. Last year, I got, I think maybe 7 muscle ups in that workout, so I didn't get the full 20 muscle ups. So this year, my goal was just to get through the muscle ups and then see how far I could get into it. So to get 10 into that, I was pretty good.
So you 10 muscle ups or 10 thrusters?
10 thrusters. 10
Okay.
thrusters.
So you did all the 15.
Yeah.
How'd you break them up?
Most improved.
Yeah. I hadn't trained a lot last year. How did I break the thrusters?
No, bar muscle ups.
Oh, I think I did like a 4, a 3, 2s, and then I think just held on for as many 2s and 1s as I possibly could at the end.
Yeah, I don't think you did
But I
many singles.
wish-
I was judging you. I don't think you did many singles.
It was only like
linking a
maybe the
lot.
last 3. But I wish if I went back and did it again, I would probably break my chest to bars more. Probably just do 3s in the chest to bars. I think I tried to do like a set of 5 or 6 at the start. Kind of gassed me for my chest to bars, and it just, I don't know, my grip went quite quickly. And then with the muscle ups, I try and just do 2 straight away. I reckon that would probably be better for me because they're just not great for me. So I think 2, drop, shake it down, drop, and it would have been a bit better. I think I probably could have finished it if I really pushed, but I don't know. I don't know.
It's
The
funny.
most important thing is that I got one more rep than Sean.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
wow. That would have been a good thruster battle in the
Yes.
end there. That's,
I wish you were in the same heat.
Oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
I
wish you were in the same
You know,
heat.
if we were, you probably would have got more because you would have seen me right there. And I think you got onto that bar before I got onto it.
But Sean did single, like
Yeah,
he
I
did
did
clusters.
singles.
Yeah.
So he did
Heaps harder.
single,
Heaps harder.
thrusters. It was interesting this year with all the 3 open workouts. Almost every single person that did them and contemplated redoing, all 3 workouts, they wanted to break it earlier, go slower
Yes.
earlier.
Yeah.
All 3.
Yeah.
I think Johnny Carpenter's a really good example of that. I judged him the first time around, and he did big sets for his gymnastics, like big sets, and they were fine. But he got off just
Cooked, hey.
spent,
Yeah.
like spent.
I thought he had COVID.
He was all sorts of strife.
Like, how do you catch COVID in the middle of a workout?
And I don't know what he finished. Did he get under 11 minutes?
No, I got 11:50.
11:50. Okay,
11:50.
so he just
So he
got in
finished
there.
it on the redo.
But
That's
broke it
tight
a lot
too.
earlier, right? He broke.
Oh,
his
he
norm. I
was.
think he even did the pull-ups like 11:10, and I think even the chest to bars he might have gone like
They were tiny. They were small sets.
either 3
But
or
he was
2,
doing the
maybe.
Dom X sit. He was.
Yeah, was he? Was he?
He was.
Classic
He
Dom
was
X sit.
cruising.
Classic Dom X sit.
We haven't even spoke about the Dom X
We
sit.
haven't yet.
But yeah, his redo was so slow at the start. Like he was worried. He was looking at the clock, going, "Do I really need to go this slow?" And then finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially breaking like a set of 21 normal pull-ups, the chin to bar pull-ups,
Yeah.
into a set of 3. It's like it doesn't feel
Doesn't
right.
feel
Yeah, it
right,
doesn't
especially at the
feel-
start of a
yeah,
workout.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The Dom X sit. Do you want to explain to people what the
It's a good
Dom X sit
segue.
was?
So I had this is the first workout,
First
when it
workout.
was very you could almost calculate how far you were going to get through by looking at the timing of the rounds. So when
When
you
you
wanted
watch-
to get to the 6s, the 7s, the 8s, well, you need to go at this pace.
You can
to
do
get
that
there.
when you've watched the entire
Yeah.
gym do the workout.
No, as
Sit
soon
down
as,
for 3
as soon
days,
as I saw
do
the
the
announcement,
calculation.
as soon as I saw the announcement, I
Listen to
went,
this
"This will be
guy.
a
Listen to this
this is going to be
guy.
a 5-minute
Listen to
workout."
Sean.
Sorry, carry on.
So I okay. So I had the benefit of seeing a couple of people do it. I saw Noah Olsen do it and went, well, if he does that, I'll probably only be maybe a round off him. No, but so I could say I want to get into the seven round. What was the first one? Into the 7s, into the 8s, or whatever it was. So I need to do it at this pace. So I think it was on the 2-minute. If I do every round on the 2-minute, treat it like an EMOM on the 2-minute. So I'd get to, it took me about a minute 38 to a minute 42-ish to do the round. And then I was like, use your rest. So I'd sit on the box.
You
And
should
I'd
post a
give it-
I'll post it in the comments.
So what you're about to see is footage of Sean showing the rest between intervals, between rounds. I thought when I saw that footage, I was like, nah, he slowed that down. That's in slow-mo for sure. Because I was like motoring through it. Then I'd sit down, take a couple of breaths, bang, straight back up into it. And when I looked at that footage, it was like, mosey over to the box.
Oh man, it was unbelievable.
Sitting like this, I was like, what am I doing?
You looked very fresh those first couple of rounds.
Oh.
Just like,
And for everyone, this was the first workout. So it was the wall walk, the dumbbell snatch, box jump over. And then when he would finish his box jump overs, he would just sit on the box and just wait.
Smartly paced.
Which was, for me watching it, because you beat my score, was infuriating. Because, I felt like I didn't stop moving the whole time. I'm like,
guy's sitting.
And I'm like, this guy's just sitting on the box and he's better than my score. Very frustrating, but very
I love
smart.
that though, and I think I told you guys, I would have loved to see you try that strategy in the heat with everyone.
Yeah, you did
because
say
it'd be
that.
so much harder.
Yes.
So much harder.
No way
to
you
sit
could have
there
sat
and-
down.
and-
I
yeah.
have a
no
mind
way.
of steel. I would have blocked it out, blocked it, sat in the middle of the gym while everyone was having pandemonium around me, and I would have stuck to the game plan.
It's funny, no matter what
God.
you say, when you've got those people around you and everyone's just pushing and going hard, it's very hard to stick to that game plan.
I think there is one memory, I can't remember what workout, but Brent Fikowski did that either at regionals or at the games, and he had like a really forceful rest, and it was excruciating to watch in the beginning because you're like, fuck, he has to go.
Yeah.
And then he ended up doing really well.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was a DT version. I can't remember the workout,
So-
but yeah.
Do you guys remember Lucas Parker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canadian.
the
Yeah,
with
the beard.
red beard.
Yeah.
So I remember him. Though no idea what year it was or anything, but it was very early days CrossFit. And I remember it was a heavy deadlift, but must have been rounds or EMOMs or something in it. And I remember his like intensity of resting. As in, he did the deadlifts.
Oh yeah, he'd sit on the
Sit
plate.
and he'd
Sat on the
sit like
plate.
this.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
And he
sat on the
went,
plate.
and he went like
And
it
he's
took him
really
a microsecond
staunch, yeah.
to get there, and then bang, and he was like, "I'm resting, fucking resting."
Resting.
I remember
He
that.
was resting
I
really
remember
hard.
that. I remember that.
And so that was what I was doing on the box.
Wow.
You did well.
Slightly different visual.
Just like Lucas
I love it though. I always try and tell people to rest during the workout, but then when you tell people to rest, they're not even resting. They're just like walking around,
Moving around.
like
Yeah.
spending energy. I'm like, well, the whole idea is to like calm
Panicking.
down.
Yeah, panicking.
Yeah.
Panic.
Fuck.
I should be doing something. I should be doing something.
Oh god! But you're right. The workouts were very, very strategic this year.
Yep.
Unless they were very strategic at a certain level, and then the workouts were, if you're a little bit fitter and stronger, like the next level up of competitors, it was no pacing. Like the burpee deadlift one is just like go as hard as you can.
Yeah.
That last workout's 4.5 minutes. They were saying that a cumulative time for the best athletes in the world, this was the shortest open that's ever
Is
happened.
that right? Really?
Would have been
So-
under 25 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. So if you take, because it was,
Interesting.
well, I'm not going to try remember their scores, but 4.5 minutes in the last one. The guy's finishing the deadlift
6 minutes or something.
6
I
minutes,
reckon, 5,
10
6
minutes in those two workouts, So they were saying a cumulative time for the top athletes, it's the shortest open we've ever had. Because obviously they're not hitting the time caps.
Yeah.
Speaking of the intensity, like next level up for us, as in Matty Cav.
Yeah.
So I think he redid. Yeah, he was redoing. When I did the first workout, Mike did the redo. I was doing it the first time on the Monday morning, and Matty, what?
Nothing?
And Matty Cav was doing it
Sean's got a comment here.
after me as well. I remember this is when I was doing my strategic rest, my power rest.
Stomach sit.
It's a power rest. And Matty Cav did it after me, and he was only on to maybe the 4th round or so. And I was like, he's redlining.
Yeah.
Like he was going so fast and like breathing heavy. And I was like, oh man, he's cooked himself. And then he just kept going. It was like he hit the limiter. It was like, and then he just kept going the whole way through. I was like, oh, that's okay. That's why he won. He's got an engine and he
think
can push.
The thing with that workout though as well, I think once you've done it, you really know how your body feels. And he finished it and was like, I had so much in the tank after that.
Yeah.
And he knew that he could go.
It
go
was
again.
emptied
I don't
that
think
next
he would have
one.
gone that hard to
Yeah.
start off with if it wasn't the second go. But yeah, it was definitely one. I think once you finish it, you're like, oh, that was it. Like,
Yeah, he said we're very rare feeling in the open. He said he looked up at the clock and saw 2 minutes left, and he's like, I've left my kick way
Yeah.
too late. He's like, I've got, this is the first time in it. He's
Yeah.
like, I've got way more than 2 minutes of push left in me. So as soon as he finished it, he's like, I stuffed that up so bad.
Isn't it interesting the pain, like the knowledge of your own pain thresholds? That you can train that apparently, like how much you can
Sure.
tolerate pain.
Yeah, mine's a lot different to Matty Cavs. Is in
Yeah.
like
Lower.
I reckon I can push for
Lower.
8-9 minutes, and I get 2 minutes in. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I think I looked at the
I've misjudged this by about 7 minutes worth of work here.
I think the burpee deadlift one, I definitely had exactly that same feeling because I broke it up early, like slow start with, and then thinking you're going to be able to kick a little bit in the end. And then just the volume of the deadlift, it just started racking my back and my legs. And I'm like, remember, I was like, oh yeah, I haven't really trained for this volume all year, have I? I don't really deserve to do well in this latter part of this workout because I haven't really put in the work. I'm like, oh, makes sense.
That's right.
Middle of the workout.
When's that
I
training?
don't do this.
When's that training going to kick in?
Yeah.
It's really demoralizing when you're there too.
Haven't done any volume deadlift all year. It's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't
What
just
about-
suddenly get good at it now.
What about the if you do a redo and you know that maybe you're only halfway through and you know your score is not going to be
Oh,
as
you
good
stop.
as your first
Oh,
run?
stop.
Do you
stop.
stop?
Oh,
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
The ultimate towel throw.
You stop. Sour grapes. Done.
Storm out.
Yeah.
And you got to think of an excuse immediately, you know? You got to think, fuck, I had the worst night's sleep
shoulder.
last
night. It'd be better by tomorrow.
Yeah, that's demoralizing. That's
That
tough.
Do you want to go through a bit of a wrap up of these the results as well? So if it was your first Open or you don't fully understand what the Open segments look like, now that the 3-week Open is over, it's finished for 95% of us until next year. But there is, if you finish in the top 10% worldwide, and this is just the Open division, not age groups, if you finish in the top 10% next weekend, they release, we don't know exactly how many, but between sort of 6 and 10 workouts that they need to do over 4 days. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and they got to do it in a specific order. So you might do 2 workouts each day. And then from that, they take the top 30 people to each segment. So that's the semifinals, which for us is in Torian. So in this gym, we had 6 people qualify in the top 10% in Oceania, which is not age group. This is Open, everyone, which is Amy Miller, Sylvia Atkinson, Tessa, Amy Polnow, Matt Cavallaro, and Kimbo. So well done to those guys.
Congrats, Kimbo.
And
everybody
then
else.
in the top 11%, was it? Maybe, like, I'm going to say the top 10.111 repeater was Chris Midlam.
Thank you.
Maybe it was
Just
only
missed
2
out.
reps. Remember how you said you should have linked a couple together
Yes, I
or
did.
should have
I
rested
did.
a bit more on the chest bars?
Yep.
I
Probably
reckon
2 reps.
you're
Wasn't, yeah.
So Senek and Chris would have been super close.
super close, yeah.
Wow.
Super close. It was, I felt sorry for Zenek, but then when I was going through all the names and like figuring out who made it, and I was like, and then I was going through the lead, I was like, Chris Midlam, oh, here we go. Chris Midlam. Search it, go through the Oceania. It was like in the top 89 percentile, and I was like, yes!
No, and then you were like, I was on the phone and I was like, oh, hang on. I realized you could swipe across. I'm like, here we go. I was like, I
Son
didn't
of a
even
bitch.
care about it, but all of a sudden I cared more than anything in this whole world.
So anyway, congrats to those guys. And then,
Yes, well done, everybody.
and then after that, so this now that's top 10% Oceania. Now these Masters athletes, they break down into age divisions, and this is top 10% worldwide. And this is in their age division. So in the 35 to 39 category, we had Amy Polnow and Amy Miller qualify. Now their quarterfinals, which is exact same as the individuals, be 4 days. It's not for the next 5 weeks.
Ooh.
So these guys have like 5 weeks of training
That is rough.
after the Open to then have to re-ramp up. It's tough, actually, I think, for these guys. So 35 to 39, we have Amy Polnow, Amy Miller. From 40 to 44, we had Matty Cav, Kimbo, and Darius all qualified. From 45 to 49, we had Zenek and Larry. From 50 to 54, we had Sylvia and Michael White. And then 55 to 59, we had Buster. So all these guys qualify through to the next stage. Some special mentions there. Buster finished number 1, Oceania.
So good.
Very,
So
very good.
This is
Well
the
done,
year of the
well
Buster.
done, Buster.
Yeah.
Year
And
of
then
the Buster.
I think Sylvia was 2. I actually just realized I didn't.
Yeah, because Kylie was
Kylie
first.
Massey came
Yeah,
first.
bloody
did she?
Kylie.
Yeah, Kylie came first.
Still,
Just retire
year.
already.
this
Still.
year,
Yeah.
she's a weapon.
Mate, she's come first forever. And then
Jesus.
Sylvia Atkinson was number 2 in Oceania, so congrats still on that as well. And then we obviously had the Torian qualification, which we touched on before. Michael White and Buster qualified in the top 20. There was 12 teams, so they were always going through. They qualified, but we're not sure if they're actually going to go to Torian yet either.
Oh,
So
they're
if
just
they-
not sure.
Sorry.
They're just not sure if they're going to.
So what happens is with the dates, Torian's in May 20 to 22nd, and then if Buster's main goal is to make it through to the top 30 that do the semifinals,
Yep.
which is only a couple weeks after that. So if we look at his sort of training, he's got 5 weeks until the quarterfinals, which is the 4 days,
Yeah.
and if he makes top 30 worldwide after that, which he should, if everything goes to plan. Then he would have a couple weeks,
2
do
weeks.
Torian, and then he would have a couple weeks and then do his semi-finals online.
Yeah.
So
and
it's
that's what, the
just-
top 10?
No, top 10 then go to the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, that's right. Top
Yeah,
10 go through.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So for him, his main goal is to make the CrossFit Games. So Torian is probably the least important out of all of them at the
Yeah.
moment. So they might not do it.
Where's he placed in the world? at the
24th.
moment?
24th in the world.
And
yeah.
ultimately, you've got to be
So-
top 10.
Top 10
After-
after
after
the
all those.
semi-finals.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a bit like for him, because the testing pool becomes a lot smaller. So if you have a really bad event in the open, there might be, in his division, there might be a couple thousand people that beat you in that workout. Whereas as you dwindle that number down, if you have a bad workout, you're only dropping
yes.
at less places. So it becomes a lot tighter. So for him, it's actually a lot better because if you've got a big hole in your game, it gets really exposed in the open because lots and lots of people can beat you in it. But as the testing pool gets smaller and smaller, it's less important
Yeah.
to be as well rounded.
And if you score a couple of workouts that are in your wheelhouse, and he's got the engine, like if he gets some grindy
Yeah.
long workouts,
Yeah.
he'll just motor through them.
Yeah, so he legitimately has a chance to go through to the CrossFit Games this year, which would be just a massive
I hope
achievement.
he gets interviewed. I'd love him to get interviewed. Down on the field.
Paul's team interview would be
God.
epic.
That'd be so good.
They'd have to follow him around with a mic. He paces it around. Oh, Buster,
You know what I mean? It's just my workout. You know what I mean?
I think we'll all be looking for Tottenham.
That'd be the best.
I think this year's the first year as well. He usually registers in the Open as Buster Brooks.
Yes.
And I think this year was the first year that he thought, I might actually go to the game here, and that's not my real name. So he's the first year ever. So if you see Ian on the floor on the leaderboard, that is him.
Introduce yourself.
And last thing, we had 60 people do the Open this year as well. Oh, sorry, we had 58 people do it, 30 women and 28 men.
Excellent.
It's great.
Felt like more than that when we had, especially with the emergency services lined up. That was pretty full here.
Yeah. And
I feel like we had more than that.
well, I'll get back to you. But
Okay, just double check that.
Yeah,
stat.
counted this morning.
Jamie, pull that up.
Sam was dressed up.
Yeah, there was a couple of people that didn't do it that were here. That's a good point.
Oh,
Like
got
the
it. Through
dress.
the numbers.
Yeah. So that's a great point.
Good. Maybe good. We'll segue to an area we haven't touched on. Rookies of the year, male and female.
We
Was-
had,
we had
lot of
quite a
rookies.
few new
Yeah, we
people
had
this
a lot
year.
of rookies.
Yeah.
Male rookie of the year? Wait, anyone make top 10 in their first year? That would be pretty impressive. Jesse did that last year. No. Man, that's hard. That's
Well,
very
who
I
hard.
were
don't know
some of the
who the
rookies?
worst
Luke-
rookies were.
Luke was his first one.
Luke Riley,
Oh yeah, he did pretty
and,
good.
he did very well. Luke Riley, well, the three, Rach, Dana, and Bree. It was the first year they all
Yep.
did it. Helen White, there's the best rookie.
Has she not done it
No,
before? Wow.
she didn't do it
Okay.
last year. I reckon she would go member of the year and rookie of the year back to back. That's pretty impressive.
Mm.
I don't know the guys' ones. Off the top of my head, the rookies.
Yeah, your mate pulled out with his shoulder injury, didn't he? He didn't do it, did he?
Who?
No, I got a mind blank.
Brett.
Brett, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
he
Because
yeah.
he was
Yeah.
originally meant to do
Yeah.
it, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought there was a few new faces
there was a
this
few
year,
new ones, but I haven't done the numbers. I'll have a look. I'll get back to you.
Can we go to favourite moment of the Open? I'll answer first.
Okay, I think Brad wants to
Defi-
talk about something.
Perfect.
Brad's like,
Don't steal mine.
yeah, I reckon
Is
Brad's is.
I reckon
So
Brad's is going to
in the first workout, I strategized this thing and I sat on the bar. That's my favorite moment.
It could be coming top 10 with Sean, clearly. Maybe you must. How many were in it? 66. How many did you say registered for us?
58.
58. Where did you come?
Sorry.
Top. Did you come?
Actually, no,
Did you
no.
come top 10% in our gym?
It's not on there.
Worldwide in our gym.
It's not here.
Sean's not it. It's on the back last
Is that
page.
your favourite moment? From the open?
No, mine would be in the muscle up, in the final workout in the muscle ups. Is it
This
yours?
is my one, yes.
All right. Well, you can have the moment then.
So we're doing Brad's doing the muscle ups, and no one is watching Brad.
Hey.
No one. Everyone's watching me
That's
try
not
and
true.
get her
That's
muscle
not
up.
true.
And it's screaming, and she's so close. And I'm like, Brad, come on. They're all cheering for you. And she finally gets it. He's on like 13, struggled through everyone. And he's like, yeah. Was that for me? Was that cheer for me?
Was that a legitimate question?
No, we both started cracking up. Like, people like Brad was doing that workout. Like, the entire
I
gym
was getting
fucking-
singles. I was
Even
like,
me.
single, and I hear the crowd go up. Yes, I get another
like-
single. Crowd goes up. Oh.
I was like,
And then I
judging,
looked
going
over
like
and Mia
this.
got
Yep,
first muscle up.
11. 12?
He asked me
12?
during it, did you get that one?
No, I
Like, you're
didn't.
judging me, you son of a bitch.
Did you get that one? Oh, that's good. To add to that, Sylvia was in that heat as well. And Sylvia finished the entire workout.
Yes.
And it just so happened she finished at the same time Mia got her first muscle up.
Yeah, right.
And the crowd absolutely erupted. And Sylvia thought it was for her. And she was looking around. She finished the entire workout and no one even like clapped her. And Mia got her first bar muscle up and the roof almost
Yeah.
blew off the place.
Yeah.
I saw
Oh,
Tash
man.
even like when they were practicing, just even did a couple like assisted muscle ups to start with.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, that's a no rep for sure.
You better not score that.
Your
Don't-
judge
don't
cannot
score
help
that.
you. I'm pretty sure it's in the rules. Judges cannot help them do a muscle up.
No, so well done, Mia. Congratulations. on your
That
first
was
muscle
very
up.
impressive.
Mia gets the best moment.
Took
but
way-
it was
took
everything
so
else
much-
around what happened with Mia.
Took all the limelight off my 13 singles.
It's like when I was doing the deadlift workout, I saw all these pictures coming afterwards, and like of Zen. There's like 30 people around Zen. Everyone's like, yeah. I was like, that's a great shot. I'm like, hang on a minute, that's my heat. No one's watching me at all.
Did I get into any of these?
I was right there. People literally had their backs to me around the corner. So I had to watch
They're
Zen.
like, Chris, can you move over a bit? I'm in the middle of my workout.
Someone sits on my plates to watch the
Chris's wife and kids are in the photo cheering Zenek on. That was a cool photo, that
It was a
corner.
great photo.
The other
That was-
other annoying thing about Zenek is him in the dress-ups as well.
Oh,
not
that
wearing
was-
a shirt.
That's going to be changed
Yeah,
next
it's
year
a rule.
for
It's
sure.
gotta be
Gotta make
shirt
good
on.
of that.
Just
Shirts
shirt
on.
for Zenek. Zenek walked out in his outfit and everyone put their shirts back on.
He's like, I want to get a
Frustrating.
photo.
Oh.
I'm like, nope.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right. So I think all of our favorite moments was the exact same
Yeah.
thing for multiple different reasons.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's my most unpopular moment of the Open.
That
was
is very funny.
my
That's
most
so
frustrating
good.
moment.
Yeah, the open is pretty brutal in many ways.
You have to have high self-esteem, otherwise you can be cut down.
Not only the workouts.
I think it's a good lesson to learn. You've got to be very strategic in what heats you go in.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Like if you want the crowd,
Yeah.
you don't go into the heats with the favorites.
Was it smart? Do you think was it the second? It was the middle week,
Yeah.
and you hadn't put yourself in a heat,
Oh, man.
and so your heat was right at
Well, what happened was in the second week, it was like pretty hard to fit in more than 8 or 9, like with the work. It just gets to everyone starts hitting each other, blah, blah. So then I was like, all right, I didn't want to do that workout because my hamstring and all the deadlifts. So I was like, I'm not going to say that out loud, but
mysterious
I'm
nick in
just
the
going to,
hamstring.
I'm just going to let this go and I'm going to feed some people into some other heats. So anyway, just worked out. People came in, they didn't book in online. They're like, can I jump in? I was like, you know what? Have my spot.
really.
Have my barbell. I'll take it for the team. And I was like, yes, I've got out of this. So the whole night's wrapped up. We're in the last heat. And then Lincoln walked through the door, and
that's
he
right,
was
you
meant to be in the last
yeah.
heat. But I had put the last heat on early because we were running ahead of time, and he showed up 10 minutes before the workout. He did the Midland and showed up 10 minutes before the workout, and I was like, oh no, he's here, and the last heat's already started. I'm like, hey, Link, this is your heat. I said, we're running ahead of time. Sorry, man, I didn't realize you're going to come this close. I'm like, but you can do it Saturday, Sunday, like Monday morning.
He's like, I'm
plenty of
unavailable.
people, lots of redos. He's like, nah, man, I want to get it done tonight. He's like, there's no one else. And I was like,
That's
I'm like,
me.
yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
boy.
well, I haven't done it. And he's like, all right, let's do it tonight. And I was like, I'm happy to come in anytime you like.
Never.
Anytime you like. So
So-
it ended up just being me and Link doing the workout.
And you were warming up for it, I remember it, and I came over and I said, Have you got anyone judging? Do you want me to judge? And you go, the whole gym's gonna be judging me. Okay.
I tell you what, that is the highest standard I've held myself to, you know? It was just every burpee was spot on.
That was funny.
Can't say the same for your 2 reps, but
How different was doing it like the open? Obviously, is something you tend to push yourself harder than you ever push yourself. How different was it doing it just with one other person, but still having the crowd, as opposed to doing it where, you know, there's lots and lots of other people doing it.
yeah.
Did you find you had more, you pushed harder then?
I
because of
definitely
that?
didn't push harder.
You
I was
didn't? Yeah.
only because of the workout itself.
Right,
You know,
okay,
I was
okay, yeah.
never. If that was the last workout,
Yeah.
I reckon I would have buried myself
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
first like 21 pull-ups.
Yeah, it could have been worse, right? You
Oh,
could've-
it was the fact that I couldn't push super hard was a blessing. And
Yeah.
even if I was in great form, like I don't push very hard on high volume deadlifts. You know, they're my arch nemesis. So, but if that was the last
Me.
workout and you had the whole gym watching you do them 21 pull-ups, like I would have went unbroken for sure.
Yeah.
21 pull-ups, and then
21
like
pull-ups for sure.
21 thrusters, and then I would have been dead. So it was probably worked out all right.
Yeah.
Probably worked out all right.
Did anyone do 21 pull-ups, 21 thrusters? That's the strategy for that last workout.
Yeah.
Mike did, didn't he? Mike went
Yeah,
unbroken.
Mike
Yeah.
did. Mike did.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
He redid. He redid it. I think he did, right? I think he did. He definitely did the pull-ups. I think unbroken. Someone told me.
I know he did.
I don't know if he
I
did
don't know his
the-
redo. I don't know what he did in the redo. I don't actually remember. But
Yeah.
he finished. Mike, he qualified. That was the important
Did
thing.
a
good
And
job.
for
He's
a lot of
unbroken.
people actually watching, like the Open for the first time, they didn't understand the redos. So a lot of people started to then, and this is something I think we got to do better next year, is explain to people why a lot of people are redoing. So with the redos, it is for these guys that think they have an opportunity to make it into the top 10%. It wasn't just to like get higher on the Mono Gym leaderboard.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, because then
Yeah.
Wow.
well, actually, you're right. You're right. There was one person that
Oh my god.
only cared about the motor.
Who did that?
I can't throw my
That,
name.
that
But
is
just
definitely
go.
not worth it.
Yeah, just go right up to the top of the leaderboard. You'll figure it out.
Oh wow. Dude.
But yeah, so with those guys, if they didn't perform very well, they might have dropped out of the top 10%. So I think almost all the redos were people that were fighting to get into that top 10%. So that's something we'll explain better next year, because I had people, it was their first ever open workout, and they'll do it and they'll come up there like, can I redo it? And I'm like, definitely not. You know, they're like, but all of those guys are redoing it. I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit different. You know, with open, it's a one and done. But
Yeah, I'll also say that I would highly recommend not to redo too much if you want to try and enjoy the open year after year after year.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, redoing is just brutal.
yeah,
And for some people, I understand it, like why they want to do it, and they enjoy the open a bit more if they get to come in and do a little bit better and kind of do the workout under slightly different circumstances than on Friday, like Friday Night Lights.
yeah.
But for the long term, it's definitely not fun redoing.
It's not fun.
yeah.
Yeah. It puts a different feeling towards the open. You end up resenting it a little bit,
Yeah,
especially with a
I can
redo if you
vouch for
don't do
that.
better. And, you know, that all of a sudden you're doing an open workout on Friday, on Monday, on Friday, on Monday. You know,
Yeah,
it
it's a
becomes
lot
a
more.
very long 3 weeks.
If you have gone about it in a certain way, and then you think, if I do a drastic change to my pacing or something,
Yeah.
I could see the legitimacy in that. As in, like, I did 21 unbroken.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Sure.
time I'm going to do 777.
Yeah.
And I want to see what I get if I broke it up like that. If you change the dynamic of the workout,
Yeah.
I think that's legitimate to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're in it for the competition side of it, which is the top 10%
Yeah.
onto the next stage, and you think you've made a massive strategic error, you can definitely redo.
But on the flip side of that coin too, though, part of the fun for me is to come up with a game plan, come up with a strategy, try and execute on the Friday.
Yeah.
And then if it went south, it went south.
Yeah.
And I guess because when we started CrossFit, part of the goal was to compete at a live competition, and you would never really have the opportunity to redo. So part of sports is to be able to perform under a certain time frame.
Yeah.
You know, the game is when the game is on.
Yeah.
And so that's the other side
I
of the
think
coin.
each of the workouts, I finished them and went, that is the best I can do.
That's
in that.
perfect.
There
Yeah,
was
that's-
nothing left where I was like, oh, God, I reckon I could have held on for that, or I should have held on for that.
Yeah, that's a good
lot of
feeling.
coulda,
I
shoulda,
was,
woulda.
I was like,
yeah.
I could not have, where I was, it could not have been done better. So
Yeah.
that's great.
To go back and I guess play devil's advocate on the other side though, I do know like even say if you're going for 10%, you're not there, but you've still put in a lot of training and you're trying to do it absolutely as good as you can do. I do think there is sometimes that feeling when you don't feel like that and you're like, I knew I could have just done this, I could have done that. And if like, I think sometimes for your own just personal well-being, it's really good to sometimes say, you know what, that was my goal. I really want to see if I can get there, and I think I can do something different the next time to try and get there. And that I know is if there's a genuine reason there for doing it for your own personal goal, then sometimes that's the same as 10% for a lot of people. Like they just had a goal of getting through those muscle ups.
Yep.
And they got I'd say they only missed by 2, not you, Brad. But say if they only missed by 2,
Hypothetically.
and that was just it, you know, they just wanted to finish that. Like there is no greater feeling than going, yeah, I got it. Like,
I think that's a really, really good point. And if someone falls into that bracket, I think it is well worth doing the redo. The only thing that I've seen over the years is people don't intrinsically feel like they can do better. They look at leaderboards and they look at other people's performance and they say, well, I beat him in class or her. I should redo and I should beat them. And I think that's where it becomes really poisonous. To your point, I 100% think, you know, if it means that much to you and you just, all you care about is your score. But unfortunately, I think a lot of people get the, you know, that they feel like I couldn't have done any better. And then they see all the results and they go, I can do better.
Yeah.
And it's like,
he does better, I can do better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that's when it becomes really poisonous. And
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And it's so fascinating with that attitude because people always know the scores that are better than theirs.
Yeah.
But you've beaten thousands of people.
I don't. I just filter through everyone the worst. Yes.
But you know the one that
number
nudges on your
Newport, above 6 foot tall, grey hair.
Most
Two
obscure
kids.
leader.
Yeah, 2 kids.
Winner.
Name Chris.
That's perfect though. Yeah, no, people do get a bit obsessed with all the scores that they've just beaten their score, and then it's like, oh, I can do 1 rep more, 2 rep more, 2 more reps. But yeah, it's also fun. I think it's fun to think about people that get annoyed with my score. Because you always beat other people.
Oh, yeah,
and then they look at my score and
Really
they're like,
good
oh,
way
I
to
can
look
do
at
like
it.
10 seconds better than Kim.
Yeah.
Perfect. So redo.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I'm not going through that again.
Yeah.
I feel like this year, the judging was easy. Do you feel like that?
I don't know if you're poking the bear here.
Why'd you look at Chris?
I don't know if you're poking the bear here because
I
Chris
feel like
Chris hasn't heard this side of it yet.
I feel like there were no aspects of any of those workouts where there was any grey area. It was like pretty easy to just let people go.
I genuinely don't know if
I
you're
was
poking the bear
going to
here.
ask the question, do you feel like that was programmed well so that it was very inclusive? There wasn't any controversy during any of it?
Oh, look, there always is. And, you know, that's like they've definitely got better at it. You are poking the bear. He's poking the bear. He's poking the bear.
No.
I got to tell him.
What?
There was big controversy.
Over which one?
Your thrusters.
Oh no, was it?
Yeah, and Brad.
Fuck, really?
Oh, massive.
I thought you were talking about his deadlift.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about my deadlift too.
What happened with the thrusters? I didn't see these.
Really? No one told me.
Well,
He didn't tell me.
I told him not to tell you
Ah.
because I thought it was hurt.
now you
hurt
told
your
me on
feelings.
the podcast.
Oh, that's what I said.
Your
I said, are you
feelings.
poking the bear here? I don't know. Like, why would he bring up judging? He wants to hurt your feelings.
No, was I not getting deep enough?
Okay, so
Brad was
Sure,
your
not doing
judge,
enough
by the
reps.
way. Okay, to give everyone some context, Chris, he did power thrusters, which I wasn't your judge. I wasn't there.
Really?
Brad was judging you.
This is a
I
terrible
wasn't
way
there.
to find out.
Did you say I wasn't there?
No, you just said then, oh, Brad was the judge. I wasn't there.
I wasn't.
Sean
Come
came.
over and said something.
I did to your
I would've
judge.
focused
Yes.
it. Oh,
He said it to me.
No, you need. Carry on. Go.
Okay.
this is a terrible way
So
to find
no,
this out.
Chris, don't stress. Okay.
I am stressed.
Don't
I'm
stress.
stressed. Well, it's an illegitimate score.
Let
Really.
me go further back to the last podcast we did when it's Sean versus Chris.
Right.
We know that
You
Sean.
wanted Chris to win, so you gave me bro.
No.
Right.
Not so much I wanted you to win as much as I wanted Sean to lose.
Right.
But Sean, we know that Sean
fair.
plays strong psychological games. He came over to me mid-heat, like worst sportsmanship ever, in the middle of it, and says in my ear, bro, you've got to tell him to get his thrusters deeper. They're not deep enough. And I was like, bro, come on. And I was like, yeah, 11, 12. And he goes, bro, I'm serious. People in the crowd are saying to me, Chris is not going deep
Which
enough.
thrusters? So it was only on the 21 then.
No comment.
Was it on the 18 too? Then?
And so,
I don't even think I could power thrust that.
and he says, I'm going to get, can you go into the date afterwards? Because in your phone, because he said, I'm going to get so many messages tomorrow about Chris's thrusters. And I went, oh, okay, yeah, I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him about it, no worries. 11, 12, yeah, bro, let's go. Next, get to the bar. He's
the
full
worst.
of shit. Don't stress about it. They were very deep. They were fantastic thrusters. And you've beaten him absolutely legitimately.
No,
and this
not
was
true.
a game that
Not
he
true.
tried to play mid-heat in a terrible fashion.
I'm going to believe you and not believe you.
Oh,
Thank you.
We'll call that.
Yeah,
Call
That
that.
is a smart move.
Well,
Far out. You've ruined my open now.
I told you not to say anything.
In
You
fairness,
did not.
Well,
This is another
sorry.
game.
I said, all right, Brad, you're his judge. You need to hold him to a higher standard. And you were like, no. I don't want to do
swear
that.
to
I
your
had no
face, I
idea.
said yes.
For everyone out there, completely unintentional. Zero idea I was doing that.
I
wasn't
knew
even
that, and that's
trying to freaking.
and I didn't want to come up and play this psychological games with you and say, hey, your thrusters are terrible. I just thought I'll tell
you
your
should have
judge.
said that.
No, but
So you were playing a psychological game.
no, I didn't want to do that to him. So I thought I'd speak to his judge,
Yeah.
who just so happened to be you, coincidentally. You know, judged him every round.
Far out.
Chris
And what-
wasn't
what
showing
was-
up. to
hold
the
on,
open.
hold on. As well, what was wrong with these deadlifts?
Yeah, Kimbo.
No, it's true. No, I shit. Nothing. Some of them.
Was I judging the deadlifts too?
No. Cliff was judging it. I didn't realise.
The real
Look,
reason why
hand-
no one was
hand up
standing
or-
close to Chris during
No,
the
no,
deadlift
I'll
was
put my
because the
hand
bar
up
was
here.
bouncing so hard
Yes.
off the floor. People were scared they're going to break their shit.
There was a handful where I bounced it. Like, I didn't realise that was actually not a rule.
Well, it is a rule.
Yeah, no, it's a rule. I didn't realise it was a rule. I didn't realise.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, look, I probably did it two times max. It's too hard to do that consistently. But there was a few
these
times
maths-
I bounced it.
It's hard. It makes it significantly easier.
No,
That's why it's a
I
rule.
couldn't do it. I couldn't
You
do
can't
it.
do
I
it.
didn't.
These
I really,
maths
Not
are
as
very-
watched the
it's
maths
not
are very
easier when you
bouncy.
bounce it that hard because it turns into a little bit of a bicep curl.
No,
like
no,
a crouched bicep curl.
So on the deadlift, you're just down.
No. Just going fast. That was it.
Well,
I noticed in this
Oh, I'm
gym the
still
mats are
devastated
much
about
more
the
bouncy than in
thrusters.
other gyms.
It's the plates.
The plates
I
are
have to
very
redo
bouncy.
the workout now, don't I?
No, so the
No
point
redos.
was
No
that,
redos.
that the judging was absolutely black and white. There was no grey area. And the point of that discussion was the depths that he goes
Okay.
to play the
Got it.
psychological games.
Fantastic.
To try and get a win
We'll
and
leave it
try
at
and
that.
squeeze his way into the top 10 of the leaderboard. And he's not there anywhere.
well, look, if we're going to talk about that,
Right.
there was some specific rules that I set out prior to the Open, the Chris versus Sean. And one of them is that we have to be in the same heat. So I got to choose the heat, and Midlam had to jump in the heat with me.
When did you say was that during the podcast?
During the podcast, we can. I'll
Wait.
cut back to it if you like.
Yeah.
So we only take the one workout that we're in the same heat then. How's that? Does that work?
Did Sean beat you in any other workout?
No.
Clean
But-
sweep.
Turns
still-
out that first workout was the only one I did legitimately.
But
Chris,
there was-
don't worry. You did really well.
was it?
Thanks,
Which was the one
everyone.
you came within one rep of him on
No,
one?
I
Wasn't
thought
it?
I did, but I was two
Oh.
or three.
You're
What did
right.
you get? I can't remember.
10.
10 thrusters.
10.
And I think I got.
Yeah, the
I
final
think I got
workout.
6. So it was 4. But I remember on the night when I saw his score and then I saw my score, I thought I was a lot closer. But I think it was.
I thought it was the other way. You
can't remember.
thought you weren't close, and then someone said, "Here's your score," and it was a 9.
Yeah, it was close. There was a couple thrusters in it.
Whatever. Mine
Yeah.
doesn't count anyway. So
That's
Well,
very
I
legitimate.
did thrusters.
sorry, everyone. Not
What would
intentional.
you say? You did more like a power clean push press.
Apparently it was. Apparently it was.
We'll see. We'll see.
I
There's
suppose it's just a push press.
there was a crowd, believe it or not, there was a crowd watching over in that corner,
I
and
thought
they
no
were
one was watching
chirping me in my ear.
Right,
It was
right. A
deafening.
big crowd, yeah, sure.
Get him deeper. Get him deeper. That's what they were screaming. And I thought, nah, you know what? Let him go. Let him go. He's doing well.
Great.
Let
Glad
him
you
go.
brought this up.
And
Graham.
then,
It's
but
fantastic.
we'll see if maybe anyone over there in that crowd that was chirping me that night, maybe they'll speak up, and
There's-
then you can.
I'm sure they will.
There's
Oh,
footage.
I
I
believe
reckon
it.
there'd be footage.
Yeah, let's
Well,
not bring the footage up.
on that
Background of Xenix footage.
You have to blur out everybody in the way.
There's too many people there.
I mean, a good segue to maybe not my favorite topic, but the least favorite part of the Open to me is people complaining about other people's reps, Brad.
He doesn't complain
That
about anyone's
is-
reps, apparently, even when he's judging.
Yeah.
That is my pet
I
peeve.
was not
If-
complaining.
Oh,
if
yeah.
anyone ever comes up to me watching someone else doing an open workout and they want to address someone's reps, I'm out.
If
That
anybody
is-
wants generous judging, call not you, Chris.
If anyone wants a cheerleader,
If anybody wants just a cheerleader, encouragement,
No, you're, and
I'm the
also,
guy.
I like that attitude way better.
to add to Brad's judging as well, when I'm trying to do the muscle ups, like clearly, I've dropped down the bar and I'm sucking him in big. He's like, grab onto the bar right now. I'm like,
don't rest.
I
Get
look
back
up at him.
up.
I'm like,
I'm really
shut
fatigued.
up. Halfway in the middle, I'm exhausted and I'm still like, shut up. And he says again, okay, go.
This is encouragement. That's what encouragement
I was
is.
on my singles.
Getting
He's like,
you to-
come on, go for 5.
Get him unbroken.
It's about getting people outside their comfort zone.
No, I have to say,
there's
like,
nothing
I did
worse than a
start
judge.
laughing halfway through that because I was like, mate. And
You
he
don't know
started
what you're
laughing
capable
too.
of. You need a strong
Clearly
coach
not.
to push
Oh,
you.
God.
There's not really many strong coaches in this gym.
That's it. That's the crux of the problem.
Hey, there's more than me here. You just insulted there.
Tashi's good.
Tash is very good, and Darius.
Tessa. Tessa's
She's fantastic.
Presto comes sometimes. He's good.
Oh god. Moving on. Back to your point, the judging every year. This year, I think they made the workouts as simple as possible. Like we had no measuring different distances, and like as running the Open, it was the easiest one to run until that last workout where you could allow other people to change your plates. That was a nightmare. So in the last one,
Yeah.
doing the thrusters. So say there were 10 people in the heat, but they're in the 55 to 59. They're doing scaled. He's doing RX. That's the female weight. And you have to figure out every time how much weight to put on the barbell in between. I wish they just made it that the athlete was the only person allowed to change the plates, you know?
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
we
but I guess
had-
they wanted that shorter time.
They wanted
frame.
the shorter time frame, but it would have added, 15 seconds to like the best score in the world? Less, probably. But what happened is like in a
But quite
tighter
different person.
in
like
a
an
tighter
extra
gym, you have 10 people, 10 judges, and then you had 10 people changing plates. You
Coming
had
in,
30
yeah.
people, and there was plates everywhere. And it was like, that was the only
It's a
sort
lot of
of
plates.
logistic thing that I thought they got wrong there.
Mm.
That was a nightmare in this gym. If you have endless amount of space, it doesn't matter. But trying to get all those people through that last one was a chaos. That was absolute chaos.
And I did it in kilos, which made it even harder because you had different change
Oh,
plates
you
on
had
all
to
put
parts.
some little ones
So it was
on,
like
yeah.
green one on the first bar, the white one on the second, and then I can't remember, blue ones on the last one. You're
I
just
tell
all
you
over
what,
the place. You're like,
For 49 weeks of the year, it sucks having pounds here at the gym, you know? But for those 3 weeks, it's heaven.
It's so
in
much
the
better.
Open, when 95 pounds, like, you forget that everyone's in kilos.
oh,
Because it's
it was-
43 kilos or something. So you're putting on these
Yes.
little dinky plates. Oh, nightmare.
Yeah, it's 42, I think, and then 53, and then 61.
Yeah, that's a
Something like that.
nightmare. That's an absolute nightmare.
The pounds are fine. I mean, after you train with them for
yeah.
years, it's after 10 years. I'm around it.
It's like now when people ask me they lift in kilos. Like, what's that in kilos? I'm like,
I don't know.
I like to
don't
know.
know.
135, 60-ish, that's it.
yeah.
That's all I know now.
Yeah, and then you can only double that.
That's
You know,
right, yeah,
270s, 120.
100 roughly, 225.
What was the question you prepared for the podcast?
My question was, out of the 3 workouts, which one do you think, goes back to our podcast, the fittest podcast, which do you think out of those three was the actual best test of fitness?
None of them.
Really?
Yeah,
Hang on, you got to choose one. You can't say zero.
First one maybe.
Yeah. I think that was mine. I think the first
The
one.
last one's definitely skill.
Yeah, last one's too
Correct.
much skill.
And I think the second one, I don't know.
Too few
the second-
movements in there.
it's not. You took the word out. Like to do a couplet, a hinging twice. You know, like you had
Yeah.
the deadlift into the dumbbell snatch. They tested the same thing sort of there with a hinge volume.
Maybe the first.
I-
You could probably say the first because it's got the body weight of the wall walks.
And then an external weight,
yeah,
and then a box
and then
jump.
and then plyometric, like jumping.
Yeah.
That's possibly like the most all-round.
I think that one was
Mechanics-ish.
one that was like anyone could do it. Like you saw anyone, and I think not anyone obviously, but a huge amount of people that maybe didn't have the skills to do muscle ups or didn't have, some of the strength to get many of those deadlifts, but everyone could power through that one. I think, well, not everyone.
The
but,
wall walks. So I wasn't here for that one on the Friday night. Was everyone doing the wall walks?
The
Yeah, see, that
vast
was-
majority
that
of
was quite
people,
technical, wasn't
the
it?
vast majority of people RX'd it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was wall walks first. It was a really small number, and they were able to, like, being fresh, they were able to do it. So the vast majority of people RX'd
Downside
it.
with the first one though, it was a lot of time spent on the box.
So much
Oh,
time.
yeah.
That was a box jump workout.
More
That's
than
it.
half the workout, I think. Yeah, was time spent on the box jump.
Yeah.
Do you like the
Um,
step downs?
Love the step down.
Perfect.
Love
Yeah.
the step down.
They gotta keep that
Awesome.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's the only way they can do that.
Definitely
know how
none
to
of those
answer.
videos coming out of this one of people falling over and tripping on the bottom. Nowhere
Yeah,
near it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
actually didn't
Like,
see any.
But
Yeah.
the year before in that one, whew,
Oh,
so,
man, so
many.
many.
When you
Yeah.
got someone jumping off a box, oof, that's
Yeah, I actually didn't see any stacks or any
which
videos
is
go-
disappointing. So
so-
CrossFit, bring those rebounding ones back.
Yeah.
Way more interesting.
Keep CrossFit,
That's
CrossFit.
right.
Make CrossFit great again.
That's right. That's right. Bring injuries back up.
If you could, I hadn't prepared this, but I just thought of it
Oh,
now.
here we go.
So if you could change, if you were in charge,
Yeah.
and you could either, okay, two-pronged question. You could either design a workout that you would put in the open,
Yeah.
or maybe you can choose, or how would you redesign the whole thing?
don't-
Would you do any different format
I think
for
that-
CrossFit in general?
Yeah, I think the only thing this year that I was a bit disappointed in was that there wasn't that part A and part B. I really enjoy that
in one of the workouts.
in one of the workouts. I
A
really
strength
enjoy
component,
that.
you mean?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily have to be like just strength, but I love the all right, you did well in that one. Now you got to do something
Yeah.
else, and you got to do well in that, and you got to average your scores out on
Yep.
both. You know,
Yep.
that's the only thing that I feel like they missed this year. And back to Kim's point, I just don't think they tested enough this year for an affiliate, an owner, and a coach to help people learn all these movements all year, all these different movements, and people look forward to sort of testing them in that way. It's not the be all and end all testing your fitness and your skill level in the open, but for us to day in, day out teach all these different variety of movements on barbells and then for him to test a deadlift and a dumbbell snatch,
Yeah.
in 2 weeks where they're a very big part of the workout, 2 weeks, like the hinging it was like, man, these people got so many more things they want to do. So I just don't feel like they had enough movements this year. That was my only thing. That, and I wish they had a part A to one of them,
The
You're
heavy
going to get
lift.
that when there's only 3 weeks. It's harder now to get all those movements in because you had three movements in the first week.
a couplet.
How many do you have? 1, 4, 5 movements. There's still
In
a
the
fair
last
few
one.
movements in the last week, and then only 2, obviously week 2. That's still
Yeah,
a lot.
like a couplet
can't
to
have more
have,
than-
to have 3 weeks and to do a couplet in one of
Yeah,
them,
that's
which
fair.
was
Probably we needed
which was a
another movement
dumbbell
in that.
snatch, which the week prior we had. Oh, sorry, we had the deadlift, the burpee.
Yeah.
So that's the couplet, and then we had the dumbbell snatch, which we had already tested sort of the hinging volume on the dumbbell.
Yeah.
They are slightly
okay.
different,
yeah,
but
no,
it was
no,
like
no, I get it. Yeah,
you
yeah, that's
know?
fair.
I think it was better than the last year because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, last year the 2 first workouts were couplets, weren't they?
Yeah, the
Can't remember.
handstand and
Dub-
skipping.
double under wall walk. Yeah,
And then snatches, burpee box?
Burpees.
Was
Burpee
there
box
some
jumps.
other movement in
Burpee-
burpee?
I can't remember
Maybe there
last
was
year's.
another
No,
movement.
I think it's just snatches and
Burpee
jumps
box
overs.
jumps.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
what was the last workout? Oh, far out. I
It's
can't remember last
thrusters,
year.
Toes to bar,
Close to bar and yeah.
So
thrusters, chest,
Oh yeah, it was
bar,
similar to this
similar
one.
to
Yeah,
that.
And then
yeah,
they had
bar
a lift
muscle
at the
up.
end.
Yeah, and then the lift. Yeah,
lift. Yeah.
so what about on a macro basis?
nah, it's good. They've nailed the
Hap-
open now.
But CrossFit, Okay, so one thing I think would be interesting
Yeah.
is if CrossFit wasn't just, I know it's almost like a mini season,
Yep.
like with kind of, what would you say, 3? There's the Open,
Open, quarters, semis, games, 4.
and how long does that stretch over?
Now it's like, well, when did we start the Open? For first week of
End of Feb.
and it goes all the way through to end of August. It's
I'd
long.
like to see the CrossFit, the games athletes, or even including some of, say, the semis athletes as well,
Yep.
in more like a season, like each weekend or each
Yeah.
or a fortnight,
Yeah.
and they're always in events, and there's rankings,
Yeah.
so almost cross between a college football season or an NRL season, crossed with like a boxing or
Yeah.
UFC with rankings,
Yeah.
and then you could actually watch and support, and it's not so much like a 1-year event. Like,
Yeah.
even though I get that stretches over, but it's kind of like they say that just the top guys, they build to the games. The games is on and that's it. They just kind of disappear unless you're in the wormhole of watching YouTubes of CrossFit and following them. But if you could watch like a season and it was like each weekend, or maybe that might be too much.
Yeah.
But I reckon that'd be cool.
Being that athlete.
Be busted up. You'd have a lifespan of 2
They
years.
kind of do that. Like,
But I think
can
that's what
compete
we
from
had a
you.
bit with regionals, because regionals was way bigger before.
Yeah.
So the regional events, they had the same events at each regional,
Yeah.
and it was a bit
That was
more
so much
fun
fun.
to follow each
Yeah,
event.
so much fun.
I think that's maybe one thing I would go back to.
What's it?
Yeah.
Grid League, whatever they're called now, kind of do
Yeah,
that.
they
don't they?
tried
Week in,
it,
week
yeah.
out. I just don't think there is the funding and the money for athletes to be able to commit to doing that. Like,
Definitely not.
Week in, week out.
I would say the last 2.5 years has made it feel a lot worse because everything's been online. So there's been no in-person anything.
Yeah.
Because remember, we used to go down to Wollongong and watch everything in person.
Yeah.
And like Torian, if anyone is thinking about going, you definitely should. It is wicked. Like the Torian weekend, you'll see the best athletes in Oceania. It is actually an awesome weekend to go to.
It's so I've really missed that effect the regionals had in regionals, because there's so many stories of people watching it in the stands one year and then they're like, I want to go back there and be competing next year. I mean, Khan is probably the most famous one. He watched it one year and then he made it the following year. But there's heaps of those, and it really does inspire people to watch that. So that live element has kind of disappeared a little bit to a certain degree. Now it's only Torian in Brisbane.
Yeah, that's the only one. But another thing is Brisbane for us. It's great for them. But we had it for many, many years where you just drive down to Wollongong and watch it. But like it's a bit harder now to get up there. But it's definitely worth going up there. It's so sick. Such a good weekend. Anyway.
Yes. Alrighty.
I can't
Good
think
to
of
wrap up.
anything we didn't cover.
I don't think so.
We're doing our awards night, June 11th. So we hand out all the awards. We do a bunch of silly awards as well. Best dress, that's something people got to start thinking about as well. Best dress, we do all the masters. We do all the top 10%. And it's going to be hopefully, it's going to be at the new Monoval Clubhouse.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they're looking to open. Well, I don't know if I'm meant to say any of this. June 11th.
That's all right. No one's listening.
The surf club, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
June
cool.
11th.
So June 11, put that in your calendars
Sweet.
because that is our biggest social night of the year. Very, very fun night.
And let's finish on Sean. So there's probably a few people that are a bit pumped up after the Open. It's been a fun couple of weeks. What does training look like now coming up?
So this is the best and worst thing about the Open is you do one or two things after the Open. You go, all right, that was awesome. I'm going to get right back into training. And then the next 3 to 4 weeks, people are just at 100% motivation and they're training 6 times a week. And all they want to do is get their first bar muscle up. And it's like, but unfortunately, in the 7th week, that starts to really taper off. So with the programming, we've had that transition week. Next week, when you're listening to it, this week, we're doing all testing. So we're going to set some new baselines this week for people. And then we're going to slowly progress through. We typically start with some more slower lifts like your squats, your bench, your deadlift, stuff like that. Get some testing numbers, and then we will progress through into like the Olympic lifting and the gymnastic stuff. But I highly recommend train as many days this week as you can because you get all your baseline for your testing that we're building off. I got an Olympic weightlifting course because I know a lot of people enjoy that starting on the 5th of April. Tuesday night goes for 90 minutes. It goes for 10 weeks. So if you want to jump in that, 6:30 p.m. start for 90 minutes.
Who's it for?
Everyone. So I've capped that at 20. I know there's maybe when I looked on Friday, there was already like 12 or 13 people signed up. So I've capped that one at 20, and that's a 10-week course purely on clean and jerk and snatch. And that's just to get your 1 rep max up. It's a great time of year to do it.
Suitable for beginner lifters
Everyone.
and people that are
Yep.
lifting for free.
Yep. So that is going to be, if you just want to, even if you want to learn how to do a clean and jerk and snatch, it's going to go from all the way from never doing them, and then we'll have the better guys and girls as well in there if you want to improve your clean and jerk and snatch. But at the moment, training is going back to like building foundational strength, joint integrity. So you're going to do a lot of unilateral stuff, a lot of strength building. It's not going to be super high volume gymnastics and stuff like that now. We sort of taper away from that after the Open, build up some really good foundational strength, and then that stuff starts to ramp back up around the Open next year as well.
Cool.
This week is important. Train as many times as you can, get all your testing numbers in, and put them in sugar watt. I think that is the biggest miss that people don't do.
I'm going to commit to doing that.
It is, and you can as well. I think with people, they think putting their scores in sugar watt is about the leaderboard. You can make all your scores private. So, like, if you don't want people to see your scores on a daily basis, which is totally fine, you can put your thing on private. So it's just for you. But if it helps so much when we do the RPEs, like the rate of perceived efforts and the percentages, if you just open sugar watt and your 1 rep max front squat, deadlift, snatch, clean and jerk, it makes it so much easier. So next week, train as many times as you can, put it all in sugar watt.
And with your 1RM testing, sandbag it. It's much more satisfying when you go back and redo it and you do heaps better.
Yeah.
The best advice out of the whole podcast.
Final rapid fire question of the emergency services. If in real life you could pick one, what would you be?
Sean's gay cop.
Really? I'd appreciate that. That's really nice.
What would you be?
I'd be Zenik.
That's so good. Alrighty, guys. See you on the next one. Oh, Brad, you do the outro.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Kimbo, thanks for coming. Thanks for having us here as part of your podcast. Sean, you run a fantastic gym. Well done. Chris, appreciate you.
Good thrust.
Thanks, everybody.
If you enjoyed this video, we've got plenty more to come. The next video is right here, and if you want to know when they're coming out, subscribe here.